So it's really you at last. How are you?
I'm pretty tired. It's been recording so much, you know.
You're tired now?
Yeah, I haven't had a sleep in about all night. You know, I've been working on the last LP.
How much sleep do you need to be alert?
Alert? I guess about 8.
8 hours?
Yeah, I had about 8 minutes, so, you know. I think it
Minutes?
answers itself, yeah.
I've slept longer than that in my monologue. Want to cut the racket off on the sound here? Nice gentleman. What is that sound that we hear irritating us so dreadfully?
Well, it sounds something like the New York street. I don't know. It's like today the air is all static, so the amplifiers are static. Music is loud, the air is loud, and you know we're trying to settle things down a little bit. But it's going to take like a rest, you know.
I asked a practical question and got a philosophical answer. I think
Is
that's
that philosophical?
terrific. I thought it was. You said there's
George.
static in the air today and all.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to get a point across before we, you know, take our rest. Oh, I'm sorry, he's still on here.
We're going to both sack out. Mr. Young, will you entertain the audience for us? Let me ask you something. What really happened to you that night at Woodstock? Did you stay on so long you just really were?
No, we was playing in the morning.
Yeah.
And it was announced that it was canceled. The show at the Cavett was canceled. So, and then later on, it was announced that it was on.
Oh, really?
And I didn't know what was happening. I was so exhausted, you know.
Yeah.
It was like what do you call those things? Nervous breakdown or whatever, you know.
Physical breakdown.
Yeah.
You don't suppose it was a real? You didn't have you ever had a nervous breakdown?
Yeah, about 3 of them since I've been in this group, since I've been in this business, you know.
Really? Gee, I didn't mean to pry, but since you brought it up, I thought I would mention it.
Pry, that's cute. That's great.
They said that everyone was amazed at the absence of violence. It's become a cliche now about that big festival and about the others. Were you surprised at it? Do you think that?
I was glad. That's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah.
Try to keep violence down, you know, keep them off the streets. And like a festival, 500,000 people was a very beautiful turnout, you know. I hope we have more of them, you know. It'd be nice.
Yeah. What was the controversy about the national anthem and the way you
I don't
played
know.
it?
All I did was play it. I'm American, so I played it. I used to have to sing it in school. They made me sing it in school, so it's a flashback, you know. I don't know about it.
This man was in the 101st Airborne, so when you write your nasty letters in...
Nasty letters. Wow,
Right.
you really
Well,
trying hard.
when you mention the national anthem and talk about playing it in any unorthodox way, you immediately get a guaranteed percentage of hate mail from people who say, "How
that's
dare
not unorthodox.
anyone?"
That's not unorthodox.
It isn't unorthodox?
No. I thought it was beautiful. But then there you go. You know.
Oh, but don't you find that there's a certain mad beauty in unorthodoxy? Yeah. Right. I knew you'd do that someday. I knew you'd wig out on my show.
Right. Don't forget it.
Do they ever send that shirt back with too much starch in the collar?
I don't know, man. I don't know nothing. I know nothing about it.
That's the best shirt I've seen in a long time. Why do the super groups keep breaking up? There are always rumors that your group is breaking up and Big Brother broke up and...
Well, probably because like they want to get into individual things on their own, or maybe they might want to get into other things besides music, you know. And
you mean guys in your group would want out of the music business and into...
well, not necessarily. Maybe they might want to get into their own music, because like what I was trying to do, was do a today's type of blues, like manic depression and so forth. And like Noel Redding, he's into more harmonic type, you know, when you sing and so forth. And like he went to England to get his own group together.
Oh, who's this?
Noel Redding, the bass
Oh, Noel
player,
Redding,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, Billy Cox playing bass this time. And I think it's the last job we'll do until we, you know, take a rest.
Really?
It's like we've been working very hard for 3 years, you know.
Can you tell some nights you're just not making it at all? Do you ever have the
I
urge
can
to
tell.
just walk off and
That's why I hate
apologize?
compliments. You know, compliments are so embarrassing sometimes, because you know really the truth of what's happening. And sometimes people don't really try to understand. You know, it's like a circus that might come in town. So, wow, watch that, you know. And then as soon as you fade away, well, then they go on and feed upon the next thing, you know. But it's all right. It's just part of life. I'm digging it myself. I like it.
You're considered one of the best guitar players in the world.
Oh, no.
Well, one of the best in this studio, anyway.
How about one of the best sitting in this chair? How about
Yeah. Do you have to practice every day the way a violinist does? I mean, if you're not working, say you're off in England and you're just taking off
I
a
like
couple
to,
months, do you have to keep shape every day?
Yeah, well, I like to play to myself in the room or before we go on stage or something like this, or whenever I feel like whenever I feel down or depressed or whatever, I just go on and play. And I can't practice, so it's just always constantly, what do you call it, like a jam, It's hard for me to remember any notes because I'm constantly trying to create other things. That's why I make a lot of mistakes.
Do you read music?
No, not at all.
No. Do you ever run into any of the guys from the old 101st?
Yeah, I run into my friends. Yeah.
Do they wonder, do they think your life is strange compared to what they're in?
Oh, I wouldn't matter really because, there's so many different things going on now. You can't take time out to say, oh, what do they think about me there? Oh, and all this kind of stuff. I can't go through all that. I've been going through it for 3 years. I think they're pretty well off if they ever get out of that stuff. To see me again, it's for me to see them. I feel very lucky about that.
You're still looking for that certain girl?
Certain girl? What girl?
The certain one.
Oh.
You're not married?
No.
Do you see yourself married ever?
No, I hope not.
But you'll never get a situation comedy on television, then.
I hope not. By that time, I think it would be obsolete.
Bras dessus, bras dessous. That was my Eartha Kitt imitation.
Bras dessous, bras dessous.
Rather bad, wasn't it? Nice to see you. You scare me when you sing. Did I ever tell you that before?
I do?
Yeah, you have dynamism.
Oh, I don't want to do that, Dick. I like you.
Do you?
Yes.
But I like to be scared. Keep on scaring me. You wrote that book about your life, and is that rough to sit down and decide what to put in and what to leave out and all that?
No, not really. I put down everything that I could possibly remember from the time that I was able to remember. I think it was from the time I was about 2, living on a cotton plantation in the South. The only thing is, after the book is completely finished, then the editors get a hold of it and they start taking out what they feel is going to be offensive to certain people who were involved with your life at one time, because some of the people are still alive, whom I wrote about in the book, the ones who were extremely mean to me when I was a child. And of course, these things you don't forget. You forgive, but I don't think that you could ever forget it. Yeah. And I think they took out about $5 million worth of libel suits. I told
and where have you
it
spent
like
that
it was, baby. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But as I said, the unfortunate thing is you're not able really, because of the censors, you're not really able to tell the truth exactly as it stood. Yeah. But I think eventually one day I will release the original manuscript, which I still have at home, maybe when my daughter is old enough to release it for me after the people who treated me so badly when I was a child died off.
Died off?
Yeah.
You've lived in Europe a lot. Are you repatriated, or are you still an expatrié, or?
I have never been an expatriate. I don't know why people think that I was.
Oh, you just scared me again. I don't know what it is.
I like this country very much. I know we have our problems, but I think running away from the problems isn't going to solve anything. And I think going away to another country and exchanging your own country's problems for another country's problems doesn't help anything anyway.
Yeah.
So I always come home.
Yeah. I was thinking, I read your book this morning, as a matter of fact. I really hadn't ever read it before, and I wondered if you ever stopped and think, if it weren't for all those people who were rotten to you and the really rough childhood you had in the South and in Harlem, and do you ever stop and wonder if you'd had a pleasanter life, maybe you wouldn't have been Eartha Kitt, you know what I mean, and if it would have been worth it? Do you ever think about that?
Yes, I do, but I think that you are born with a certain kind of feeling within you, and either you are going to allow it to come out or you're going to suppress it. And I think that in many ways I was very lucky, because I was not restricted by some big brother or whatever you want to call it, to say, to put a thumb down on you and say, no, you can't do this, you can't do that, you must do this, you must do that. Such as, mothers and fathers who are constantly fighting against the children when they get to be a teenager, particularly, and you are trying to find yourself, particularly in your teenage years, and you are searching for a kind of freedom to express yourself, but express yourself the way you really feel is an honest way of expressing yourself. And unfortunately, I think the majority of the time, no matter how much a mother and father or a guardian may love you, they sort of suppress that inner desire to be what you feel you honestly are. And I think that a mother and father should guide you, but guide you as best they can in the direction in which you have the freedom to express yourself and be creative. I don't think that they should try to make a carbon copy of themselves out of you.
I was just wondering, though, how many people would be in show businesses and have become stars. Moss Hart has that phrase in his book that the theater is the refuge of the unhappy child, and that the people who make you laugh and entertain you on the screen owe it all to a rotten childhood in so many cases. It's really ironic.
I think that one of the main reasons why I am in show business is because I've had this tremendous desire to be loved. But I didn't want to be loved just because I exist. I wanted to earn that love and affection. And I think that you have a greater way emotionally and also much more satisfying in many ways when you are in front of an audience and you can feel the vibrations of people loving you back. You get an immediate response, whereby from a guardian or a mother and a father, it takes a long time before it really starts coming back to you that your mother and father really do love you, because I think they spend an awful lot of time telling you what not to do.
Yeah. I've had audiences tell me what not to do, too, in subtle ways. What is that? There's a rumor that you invented scat singing. Is that true?
Well, they claim when we was recording Heebie-Jeebies, and we get on to this part for the second chorus, and I dropped the paper. And the president in the control booth, he says, keep on singing, see? Yeah. Well, that brought back memories when I was a kid going around in the quartet on Rampart Street in New Orleans, where we get to the part we didn't know the words. We'd go to scatting and blowing like a trumpet or something like that. And it came to me just like that. And we didn't spoil the master or nothing. So when we finished, Mr. Foreign, he said, well, Satchmo, this is where scat was born. See, now he said it, but I mean, they give me that monocle, you know. But that's where scat was supposed to start, you know. Yeah. But Jelly Roll Morton claimed that he and some comedian used to scat way back there in the 80s or something. But I wasn't born then. I wouldn't argue with him. You know. I couldn't argue with him.
When were you born?
1900.
Yeah. So
12 o'clock at night.
It is. At 12 at night?
Yeah, they called me.
So how did they know whether your birthday was on the? Your birthday's on the. I thought it was on the 4th.
Well, I didn't ask Mama all that. I was just glad to be here, and I didn't. I wouldn't interfere with her business. You know?
No, I wouldn't. You're talking about in the early days in New Orleans when you were a kid. What kind of a neighborhood did you grow up in?
Well, there's all nice people. That's all I can say. I mean, growing up as a kid, I mean, they didn't do anything that would hurt us, and they didn't tell us anything wrong. And quite naturally, when they'd having their good times at night around the honky-tonks and things like that, most of the kids was in bed in their way. They didn't pay no attention. You know, you can get used to anything. And they went right to schoolhouse and right in the neighborhood and everything. But there were a lot of very racy neighborhoods in the 70s. Yeah, you find that in any city, but New Orleans was the beginning, you know. Yeah. Down there where the pimps and others. Kiddies and things, you know.
How did the kids stay out of trouble with all that around him?
Well, that's what I say. A lot of the kids, at night, when they're getting kind of late, moms would make them go to bed anyway, you know, because it didn't start till late. The honky-tonks didn't open up until almost midnight and run till the kids was on their way to school. And a whole lot of things they didn't pay no attention to, you know.
Your mother made you go to bed early?
Well, when she could catch me, you know, I mean, I'd slip around. I had to hear Joe Oliver blow one time before I went to bed, and it was kind of late. Yeah. But I made up all right. I mean, I didn't overdo it. And sometimes the kids, you know, they look so old, around 14 or 15, on account of that sun and stuff like that. So all they do is put on long pants, and they can stay up in the honky-tonks like everybody else. Nobody pay no attention to it, because they look...
They thought they were older.
They look older, yeah. Sure.
Did you ever think when you were a kid back there in New Orleans that one day your name would be internationally famous?
No, you don't think about things like that. I was just so glad to sit in the band with guys like King Oliver and Johnny Dodds, Sidney Bechet, and them greats. That was my happiness. See, the average guy, when he comes to be a star, the public wish that on him and things like that. Because I was just satisfied sitting at tailgate there in the wagons, and another wagon would put up pull up on the corner, and then we'd chain the wheels, and that was my kicks, you know, trying to blow that cat out of the wagon there. But the public makes sure things like that, you know.
Do you live lavishly?
Well, I live normally, just the nice things. I mean, I don't ask for nothing I can't get. And I always like good things, you know. That's all you need, you know. You don't have to put a sign on the back. But I mean, nice wall-to-wall bed at home there. Get that 3 scarfs, you know.
The only person I know who has a wall-to-wall bed.
Oh, they got them. They just don't want to let you know about it. I bet you got one. I bet you got one.
I'm lucky to have walls.
But I never did care for twin beds. No.
You frown on that, do you?
Well, I don't know. It's a little too rough, man. By the time you get over the other bed, you're so tired. You're gonna. you get tired tying them together, you know. No, get that big one, and that's it, you know.
You should publish a book of household tips.
Well, I mean, that'll cost a little more, but I mean, in the long run.
Yeah. You get tired of being on the road, traveling
Well,
around?
no, my wife's with me a lot of time, most of the time. When we go all over the world, she's right there. And so I ain't away from me to get homesick, you know. So, I mean, we do the usual things. That's all necessary.
Do you like having a fuss made over you when you have all of these events honoring you?
No, that's what I said in bargain for that. Coming up from New Orleans, I mean, all the cats here, we'd play a street parade, a funeral, and all my gang would be behind, you know, second line and raggedy cats, and blow it, Dipper, my name was Dipper, blow it, blow that funeral march so pretty, the cats wiping their eyes. As soon as we put that cat in the ground, and we come back swinging Disney Ramble, and everybody's getting ready to really romp then, you know, because he's gone. He can't do nothing, you know. So we rejoice for the dead down there.
You rejoice?
Yeah, they don't mope too much, you know. And I like New Orleans for the music it played, even in the brass band. They swung just like an orchestra, you know. Nothing. And cats, when they hit Panama and King Oliver and Manny Parade and get the blow in Panama, all them raggedy cats in the second line would make him take an encore in the streets, you know, in brass band. You know the wailing, eh? You better.
Do you have all your records?
Yes, sir.
Do you have them all?
Every one of them.
Yeah. That's a valuable collection.
I put them on
because
tape.
there's some that are...
Yeah, well, it's nice to have because that's my life story in them tapes, and all I got to do is just reach up there and play one. I can write articles for hours just for one reel, you know. Yeah. The things that went down, and memories, and things like that. And then I write other cats, and they answer from New Orleans. I get a lot of food for thoughts.
Didn't you write? I read somewhere that you had written. I wish I could shimmy like my sister Kate. Is that a true story?
Yeah, well, I was young then. I didn't know about no copyright and all that stuff. You know what I mean? The cat come up and say, well, I'll give you $50 for that song. And it's the first time I heard the name $50 way back there. 1917, you know? So that's what it was, and a promise. But when I look around, the song's a big hit, I ain't got that 50 yet. You know, that's the way they
Somebody
put
made a lot of money on
that
it.
okey doke on you, yeah.
Now,
But I got hip after that, you know.
After that, you learned.
Well, I come into putting that dollar on them tunes and sending them to Washington like everybody else, you know. I wrote Strutting with Some Barbecue and Someday and If We Never Meet Again with Horace Gorlak and a lot of good ones.
What was the original title of Sister Kate?
We used to call it Get Off of Katie's Head, and that wasn't good enough title. They changed it later.
Get Off of Katie's Head?
Yeah,
That's the original title?
We didn't know what else to call it. Get Off of Katie's Head.
Yeah.
I don't know why we said it.
I'll ask what that means.
But they changed it.
You were back in the old days in Chicago. That must have been the most wide open period of that city. Was it kind of rough then? Did you have to be careful going home at night?
Well, when I went to Chicago, it was in 1922. And I was 22 years old. And I went up there to play second cornet, rather, with King Oliver, you know, at the Lincoln Gardens. And In those days, it wasn't that bad that you had to be careful that you would be held up or something like that. But during the days of the gangsters, it was kind of rough, you know.
Did you run into any gangsters?
From that area. Well, when I went to the Sunset, which was owned by Mr. Joe Glazer, my manager after that, I used to see a lot of the boys sitting around, and Al Capone and his brigade would come in, you know.
Saw Al Capone?
Yeah, many times.
Was it true that he came in with a bunch of bodyguards?
Oh, he always had you think he was general of the army or something. He had so many cats take care of him, yeah. And then we gave a dance at the army right next to the Sunset, and the whole gang of them cats come in, had a long table. I had a chance to say a few words to them.
Were they, did they make you nervous to have them sitting there?
No, they're ordinary people till something start, you know.
Yeah.
But just to sit there, I mean, and they're the ones that gave us big tips to play things for them in the band.
Yeah.
And we had a singer called Melix who used to sing and slide at the end of the floor when somebody put $1 down, and she'd slide and make a split and pick up that dollar. And those gangsters, man, they had that floor lined with dollars. Cats were walking around, and she'd just slide and pick all of them up. And we had a lot of fun there. Nobody got hurt.
Nobody got hurt?
No. You don't mess with them, they don't mess with you. I mean, I didn't know any of them that personally, and they liked our music, and I was blowing them blues for them cats, you know.
Well, did you ever...
Well, we had some bad boys in New Orleans. Are you kidding? We had some boys just as tough as Al Capone's boys right there in New Orleans. When I was coming up selling newspapers, and they followed my life up, you know, from the time I left the Hunky Tonks to come up north and blow. And I went down there in 1931 to play at the Suburban Garden. It was a roadhouse, and radio was just about 5 years in. And you never heard of no spade playing on no radio in those days, just starting. And you know what the life was, all strictly buffet. 5,000 Negroes right on that levee. It was a levee, right by the levee. They listened to that music. See, now I'd been away about 9 or 10 years, and I done got northern fire. I done forgot about a whole lot of that foolishness down there, you know. So anyway, the night we opened, and I'm sharp, man, and there's a place packing jam. It was owned by the Dalton brothers.
Were they
Yeah,
bad cats?
They had gambling there and dig this.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think I was in Chicago anyway, you know, go up to the mic and make my own announcements and different things like that, or the announcer bring you to the mic, and then you tell out, you know. But this night, they done prop this man up to just a big deal. Now you bring on Louis Armstrong, he's a New Orleans boy, and blah, blah, blah. So I'm straight, you know, all the boys said, this is nice. But a second before this cat had to go to that mic and bring me on, he walked away and said, I just can't introduce that nigga. Can't do it. So the Dalton boys want to wash him with him, you know what I mean? But anyhow, they come to me and told me what he says. I said, well, don't worry about it, you know? I said, give me a card, boys. And I walked to that mic, and then, da-da, shim, and I walked to that mic. And before I opened my mouth, there's all the white boys that I was raised with, you know, sitting up there, sharp, done got rich. Their fathers done left them the produce places and different things. They were, when we was kids, we'd hang around, and after school, we'd go out in the lots and play cowboys and Indians with old broken slates and things like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We was the Indians. Oh yeah, we probably were. And I've stood there 20 minutes, and they hollering, Dipper, Satch, blah, 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 blah. And when I went into pale moon shining, man, you thought the walls was coming in. And this announcer standing there, you say, well, I didn't know this would happen in the South in New Orleans. It never happened before. So they fired him and everything, and I took over myself.
Me and Ray Charles.
Hey.
Gee, I've always wanted to have you on and never have, and we finally got together.
Hey,
It's terrific.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much.
Is it true that your manager said that you have a plane, I think, private plane with a staff of something like 28 people, or was it a crew of 28 people? It must be an enormous plane.
No, it's just that that's the people who are within our little family, you know, the band and the Raelettes and Aaron, who's our comedian, and the pilot. So when you get all these people together, you got roughly 28 people.
Did you say one man is your comedian and the pilot?
Oh, no. Well, sometimes he is quite funny, I must tell you. No, we have two, well, naturally, you have a pilot and a co-pilot.
Yeah.
But the comedian is part of our show that we have, and the Raelettes and me.
Now, your manager also says that you could fly the plane in a pinch.
Did he really say that?
He said this, yes.
Well, actually, what he probably meant is that I have, they say a little knowledge is dangerous, but I think I have enough knowledge that, God forbid, if we were in some kind of emergency and the pilot had a heart attack, I think I would probably be able to get the plane down without killing myself, you know. We might tap a wing or something, you know, but at least I would be alive, you see, and that's what counts.
No, your manager said you wouldn't tear up a wing or anything.
Well, he's practical.
He has great confidence in you.
Yeah, right.
Would he let you perform an appendectomy on him?
Yeah.
Tell me, you've been blind since what age? Not
Well,
permanently.
I started.
Not always, but-
I started to work on it. I was about 5 years old when I started to lose my sight, and I finished the job when I was maybe 7.
Yeah. So you can remember images.
Oh yeah, colors
Clearly,
and
what
oh yeah, sure.
things look like.
Yeah, I remember the standard things, you know, like you know, green, brown, yellow, white, black, things like that. But these new colors they got, you know, like electric pink and chartreuse. I don't know what the devil that looks like.
You're not missing that much.
No, really, okay then. Thanks. You know.
I'm electric pink, for example.
Oh!
It's funny, you know, I was thinking, can we talk about blindness for a
You can talk
bit?
about anything you want, your show. You know that.
Oh, true. Most of the time. I've been told that some blind people who could have their sight restored have refused because they have spent most of a lifetime adjusting to it, and that it would just completely disorient them to have it restored. Suddenly they'd have to learn all new habits, and they have actually... Can you sympathize with that? If I could wave a wand and say you will see, would you accept that?
I
offer?
probably, well, let's put it this way. If you were to say to me, look, I can wave a wand and you can see right now, and it's got to be a forever thing, I might would turn it down. If you were to say to me, well, I can wave it and you can see for maybe a day, I might accept that. Only because there are a couple of things that maybe I would like to see once, you know, or, you know, just so that I really would know for what's really happening that I haven't seen. Yeah, because, you know, as I said, you know, I've seen the stars and the moon and the sun, and I remember my mother, and so I think basically I would probably like to see, you know, just for once, because I see them anyway all the time, like, you know, like my kids, for instance, you know, just for, you know, just to physically see them. But actually, I'm not all that hung up about seeing things, because I do everything I want to do. I go everywhere I want to go. And with some of the news I hear about today, you know, I mean, there's some things I just absolutely don't want to see, man. I really, and I feel sorry for you guys who have to put up with it, you know.
You said your kids. What else would be on that list of things you'd really like to get one look at?
Well, it's really not that much. I think maybe some of the, you know, the artwork paintings people. But I don't have any special thing, you know, outside of the, I think one day, if I could see for one day, it would really cool me out, because everything that I think I would want to see, I mean, really want to see, I could do. You know, I don't have.
Get it in a day.
Oh yeah,
That's
sure.
interesting.
You know, because for instance, you know, talking about people seeing things, you know, and you watch the news and then you know everything is so bad, you know, somebody's killing somebody or whatever they're doing, you know, and of course the guys in my band, you know, when I go out with them, they take me out and we're going down the street and they go crazy, you know, they look at the girls in these mini skirts and things or whatever, and they, well, you know, I think. You see, I think I'm fortunate. I don't have to suffer like that, you know what I mean?
And if you want to, you can picture it any way you want to.
Oh, of
So
course you
that's,
can. Well, I figure if I really want to know, I have the greatest sight in the world, the sense of touch. You can't beat it, man. You know,
Oh, I see. You didn't change the subject.
Oh, no.
Okay. So if I say, and I was thinking about this today, we all have a visual image of somebody, people who are sighted. If I say Raquel Welch or Lyndon Johnson or
Yeah.
Hubert Humphrey
Yeah.
or Phyllis Diller, most people think of a face. What do you think of a sound? What they sound like to you?
Yeah, I guess
But do you
I'm
get an
kind of
image,
like
too?
I'm kind of like old radio, if you can imagine. You know the characters they used to have on old radio, and,
Right.
and you would hear these people, and you always imagined what they basically look like, you know, because the sounds can't fool you, though. You know, you can hear someone who has a baby voice and they're huge, you know. On the other hand, there is somebody who has a very deep voice, you know,
Yes.
heavy, and a little bit of catch, man, you know.
No.
Yeah, you didn't know that, did you?
No, I didn't.
I hear you, baby.
How do you picture me?
No, well, actually, I think that...
Speak right up here where I am.
You don't mind? Well, you know, I basically picture you. I think the first time I heard you, I thought then that you might be a gentleman, you know, of a medium build, like 170 or 65 pounds or something like that.
Incredibly accurate.
You know, yeah. When you say that, that must. I guess I'm describing you wrong somehow, you know. But this is what you know. You don't have what you call the world's deepest voice or the world's lightest voice. Very pleasant man. I could, you know, like you have one of those come hither sounds. You know.
Really?
It's true.
What do you recommend I do with this sound?
It's quite magnetic, you know. I really have to tell you sincerely. I've been listening to your show, and I don't want you to think I'm putting you on because I'm here, but it's quite true. Since I'm sure you know, I would never say this if it didn't mean it, you know. I watch as much of your shows as I can. I've seen many nice. Interesting people on the show. Oh, yeah.
I'm supposed to watch you. You're not supposed to watch me.
Well, I watch you, and I know I can just hear the people thinking, how can he see that? How can he know what he can't see this show. Oh, but you'd be surprised, you know. It's a great thing when you can sit back and you listen to the people on the television shows. Because I know that a lot of times pictures are good, but the great thing is when you can imagine the various guests that you have on and the expressions on their face when you say certain things to them, you know, and you can know sometimes the little shock value. All these things are in my head as I watch your show. I think that you have a very wonderful show, man. Believe me, I'm quite pleased. I'm gonna vote for you too, baby. Don't worry about it.
In that case, I'll run.
I asked him what Lotus Land was, and obviously Lotus Land is Los Angeles, but now why did you call it Lotus Land?
I think that goes back to some writer of the 30s who dubbed it Lotus Land. Or maybe it was a typo and it was Louts Land. Louts Land.
Louts Landing, probably.
Louts Landing, that's
yes.
what it was, and they got it all messed up. May I,
Call
may
me
I-
Cher?
May I call you Cher?
Yeah.
How'd you know I was going to say that?
I don't
Because
know.
everybody does. I
No.
suppose. What does it say on your passport, come to think of it?
It says Cher.
And don't they say, pardon me, ma'am, but part of your name seems to be missing.
I had one problem getting into Tahiti. The man was very unhappy that I didn't have a last name and made me wait and went through all of my luggage and ripped open a teddy bear that I was bringing back from Australia. I guess the name just kind of inspired him to look for other things. I wasn't really sure.
Why didn't you say, well, Cher is my last name?
No, he didn't really care about anything. He just was very unhappy that I didn't have a last name because everyone who'd ever been to Tahiti had one.
And he took it out on your teddy bear.
Yes, and he took it out of my teddy bear.
Why do I associate you with lots of balls may I rephrase? Can we start this show over?
No, I love it.
Do you know what I'm referring
All right,
to?
now, only if I can
Please
ask
get me
you.
off of this hook.
Balls of
It has
what?
to do with magic, Slidini. Do you remember the thing we did once years ago?
Yes.
And Slidini did this great balls and cups and balls
Yes.
thing with you, and suddenly...
I'd rather sit there and watch you squirm because this is fun.
Yes, it's lots of fun for me, too. You know how dumb you feel when you say something like that and realize that well over 80 people are watching?
All right.
Very scary. Speaking of scary, here it comes, the inevitable question. But you're about to open on Broadway. Now, are your nerves shot about this? Is it frightening, all those images, the Great White Way, opening night, and all that jazz?
This is a very strange thing to me. We've been doing this play now. We've been doing the play for over a week, and I understand that opening is, I think that we could never open and be very successful in the play, but you have to open, and I think that's going to make me very nervous. I probably won't be very good opening night.
The trick, really, though, you're onto it, is to think of it as just another in the series
That's how it appears to me, that we play for an audience every night now, and opening is just another audience, really.
Yeah. I should explain, because of the phenomenon of live and tape, that as we sit here now,
We probably will have
you haven't
been
opened yet, but
No.
As you see the show through the magic of television,
Well, we will either be open or closed.
those seem to be the two alternatives, don't
know,
they?
I
You
couldn't
can't close halfway, can you?
The other night, Suzanne Plachette did that play, and it closed in one night. I had to go home
know.
after that night. I was really nervous and upset.
That's got to be a staggering blow, no matter how much people claim they can handle it.
You become emotionally involved in something, and it hurts you if it's not accepted.
Yeah.
God knows that everyone has to go through that. It has happened to me a whole bunch of times.
Yeah. But I guess it is a nightmare. Whoever invented opening night ought to be shot. They ought to say, you do previews, and on any night within the first week, the Times critic
That
can
would
come
be-
if he
yes,
wants to.
I think that would be
and
wonderful. Be a
maybe
lot
the
easier.
next week, somebody else
Or
can
even any
come.
night that you just didn't know about it, but to have everybody come opening night and
Yeah.
do that, it's a little bit upsetting.
And all those telegrams and flowers and all those things that are well meant, but you don't want them to remind you.
I like
that
doing the
it's
play,
opening
though.
night.
The audiences have been wonderful. It's really been exciting. I would say it's about the most exciting thing that I can remember doing.
It is a thrill, isn't it? I did a Broadway play some years ago, and I couldn't wait to get to the theater every night. It was just, there's nothing like it. You could stand there and say,
Also, if you're not doing well, it's pretty terrifying, too. Like, a couple of nights, we've had, strange moments, and you're just out there. There's no retaking it, starting over. You just kind of have to sweat through it, and that's also really interesting.
well, is it true that you've never stepped on a stage before in a play?
Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm sure much will be made of that, but there's no reason to, really.
Not really.
You've been on
I
many
felt very,
stages.
yes, I felt very comfortable, and it's like playing a game to me, and it's like playing.
Yeah, it is. It's make-believe.
Yeah, I always say, when someone says, "What are you doing at that time?" I say, "Well, I'm pretending so-and-so," and everybody laughs, but that's how I feel. I'm just there doing it. I came to New York originally to take lessons, to do a play. It didn't ever occur to me that while I was signing up to take lessons, I would get a play.
Yeah, you have to be careful of getting
Yeah,
work when you don't
yes.
want it. But you have studied acting. You've been on stages. You have presence, charisma, all of that. So it isn't as if you were some...
I studied acting when I was 16 for about 4 months, and I came here, I had 2 lessons with Lee Strasberg before I got this play. And I came here to do an audition for Joe Papp, and while I was doing the audition, I got a call from Bob Altman.
And that was it. Strasberg's a fascinating enigma to everybody who knows him.
I'm crazy about him.
Where did he start with you? Can you remember what his first
He
observation
didn't, no.
was?
He didn't, you know what he said? He said, "You know too much," and walked by me. It was like, someone said, "Cher's real interested in taking classes," and he looked at me, he said, "You know too much," and just turned around and walked out of the room. He had to get something to eat. It was lunchtime. And then that night, I went to Anna's house, that's his wife, and he was there, and they just started telling old stories, and then the next day I just audited. I never really even got a chance to take classes by myself. I just audited the classes that he was giving, but I felt like I was learning a lot just by watching.
And it isn't as if you came out of a desk job to your
No.
first performing.
Except people have a very strange opinion. I'm sure that I must have contributed to this, that my personal life somehow negates the fact that I might be talented, you know, because so much has been written about what I've been doing after I've been working that a lot of people forget what it was that they liked about me originally, you know. What is it that she does, you know? She gets married a lot, or she, you know,
Or do they hold it against you that you might go to a disco or a party to unwind after?
Someone said to me the other night, someone very close to me said, Cher, I don't want you to go to Studio 54 until after the play opens. And I said, why? And they said, well, because we want you to be serious. So I won't tell you the expletives that I said to him first, but after I got through telling him immediately off the top of my head what I thought of that idea, I said, you know, I am me, like it or not. You know, the people who like me and who like my work are going to like me no matter what, you know, if I go dancing or not, you know. And so I don't know if being on Broadway or if being serious means that you have to be dull or change your lifestyle. I guess I'll never be what it is that everybody wants me to be.
When Henry Kissinger went to Studio 54, they didn't make him stop negotiating or figure that he would go frivolously to the
Right.
Middle East or whatever.
I guess I give the appearance of being a very frivolous person, but I think that I'm capable of being very frivolous and being very intense, and so I can just never quite stick with one too long.
Yeah, and the one can relax you for the other, too. There is a trap, though, in if you haven't been in a play and done everything else, almost everything else you do, you only do once and get it over with. A television show, thank God it's over, and you can relax until the nightmare hits you
Yes.
again next week if it's a weekly show. And when you do a play and get through it, you think, oh, that's over. And there's a trap to going
Yes.
to a late night party and then thinking, uh-oh,
Yes.
I've
I
got to
did
do
that
it
the other
twice
night.
tomorrow.
Yes, I stayed out until 7 o'clock in the morning the night that we taped Night of 100 Million Stars, or
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, that thing.
yeah.
And I was just having the best time. Elizabeth Taylor and I ended up at a place called Paulson's, little teeny joint, and stayed there well into the night. And I arrived home. I drove a cab home. I don't know why the cab driver let me do this, but
You
he
drove
just
a cab?
yes. But I drove a cab home at 7 o'clock that morning and had the
Lord.
time of my life. But last night's performance was really difficult.
Did he know you had had a little tiny joint, or did I misunderstand you?
No. We went to a little joint. No, Paulson's is a little tiny joint.
I see.
Anyway, no, and we got into this cab, and the cab driver said that he was not really a cab driver, that he was a comedy writer, and proceeded to tell me about this. He told me a joke that he said he had written, but I'd heard it about he went to a Chinese restaurant that was Chinese-German, but an hour after he'd eaten, he was hungry for power. And I said, you know what, that's a terrible joke, let me drive. He pulled over to the right, got out, and I drove back.
Is that in fact a terrible joke?
No, I thought it was very funny. As a matter, at 7 o'clock in the morning, it was hysterical.
Did someone tell you to say this?
No, I swear to God, this is what happened.
Do you know why I look disturbed?
You wrote that joke.
Yes. That was one of my most stolen jokes when I was doing an act in
Well, there's a
nightclub.
cab driver who stole that joke.
I did that joke, and it appeared the next week when some cheap comic stole my joke and did it on the Sullivan Show, and I was crushed.
Did you
'Cause I
really
thought it
write
was a
that?
very
This is
good
very
joke,
funny. I
yeah.
mean, that's what happened to me.
Adolph Wong was the name of the proprietor of the restaurant, and it built on that. And the proper delivery of the punchline is Chinese German food is very good. The only problem is an hour later you're hungry for power. And that's the way most of the people who stole it did it.
Well, this was just a guy that was a cab
Someone
driver.
put you up to this.
I swear to God,
you
one thing
really?
you might find about me, which is bad, but I always tell the
You're
truth.
frightening honesty.
Yes,
I'm
it's
afraid I'm
terrible.
going to be the victim of it at any moment.
No, but that's what happened. It was fun. I mean, I'm having the time of my life in New York. I realize that I don't like Los Angeles very much. The only thing that I like about it is that I've never had to be there very long.
Oh, yeah. In small, it's a.
It's
You
a
wouldn't
wonderful-
want to live there, but it's a bad place to visit.
No, it's fun
Is that
to
what
go
you're
there.
saying?
No, I don't think I'll be going back there for a very long time, and I've lived there my entire
That's
life.
right. When this show is seen, you will have a little trouble going back there.
No, I mean, everyone knows. I mean, unfortunately or fortunately, everybody knows, my views about almost everything, so it doesn't make any difference, really.
That's right.